Welcome, everyone. I am stoked. I am so happy today. It's my birthday weekend. I launched my website. I actually got my column launched today, which I didn't even know. I ended up getting two Buddha heads, and I have Henderson Ong in the room with Nivedita. What else could anybody ask for? And he's only making me blush and laugh, and I have no reason why. I don't know. Love this man. There is something so sweet about him whenever you're in his presence, and I want to thank him so much. Henderson, you may want to put your last name there so they can see your last name as well. So
how do I do that?
it says you just click on the dot and it says your name, change your name. But it's okay if you can't do it. That's all right. So anyway, so I want to let me see if I can do that there for you. No, I can't.
I did it.
I can do it on my side.
I did it.
See, you learn something new every day. Yay! But before we get to that,
I love your catchy opening tune. It got me dancing.
yes, you know what? It's a friend of mine who actually does beats. He actually did a whole bunch of beats. So all our shows we have a lot of beats. So for those who don't know me, my name is Dianne Ojar. And you know what? I don't want to be boring you whatsoever about who I am, figured out, because I want to give Henderson as much time as possible because he has to go and teach after. And I want to extract as much as I possibly can from him tonight. So you're not going to hear too much from us. You're going to hear more from Henderson. Over to Nivedita. Nivedita, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm from Australia. I'm from Melbourne. And I'm the owner and director of my virtual healing center, which offers healing with many, many modalities, especially from the Dyer Academy, to help people live their best life and be their best selves. So over to Henderson now.
Yeah. Before Henderson talks, you notice Henderson is bouncing to the music. He's also a Dao dancer. So he's going to explain all of that. Henderson, please do.
Oh, welcome, everyone. Hello, Diane and Nivedita. Well, thank you for inviting me, first of all.
Anytime.
I'm very grateful to be here, to share with your audience. And today I was given the topic, do whatever you want. I was like, all right, it's an open palette. I could do whatever I want. So I got the message to share one of the most important things in our life that I know many of you are wondering, is it real? Is it true? Right? So it goes like this. If you are already aware, we all have a soul life and a physical life. So I'm going to pull out the board and invite everyone to marvel with me, if you don't believe in yet, that we have a soul life versus a physical life.
That's beautiful. However, Henderson, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, I was so excited. I was diving into the
You can introduce yourself and dive into that. You have the floor.
Yes. Again, my name is Henderson, last name Ong, O-N-G. Nowadays, I'm a certified master teacher from the Dao Academy. Now, what does that mean, right? I help share wisdom that Dr. and Master Ji Gang Sha teaches. Now, the key of what he teaches is, let me share with you, they are soul secrets, wisdom, knowledge, and practical techniques. That's the beautiful part. There are practical techniques that's included in the secrets. Now, the key is this. Why do we learn things? We learn things is so that we become wiser every day. Yes? Now, one day older, one day wiser. 1 hour older, 1 hour wiser. But the key is, once we're wiser, can we do something about it? So here's what I am about to share with you. is you can, right? So everything has a soul. That's what Dr. and Master Ji Gangsha states. The soul. I hope many of you believe that there is a soul in your life. And then, as I was saying, we all have a physical life. Of course, I cannot spell properly. There you go. Physical. Normally, this physical includes mental and emotional. These are like the way we are looked upon in our health, right? Physical health, mental health. Are you emotionally stable? In the physical life, we are born, we get old, we get sick, we die. That's one life, let's say. We're born, we get old, we get sick, we die. We are born, we might not live very old, and when you die. And many times, our life, we repeat it over and over again, just like the stock market. Okay. But guess what? Our soul stays constant throughout. The soul that's within us stays constant. This soul moves over and over into the next life. So again, what I'm about to share goes into one of your ears. If you like it, you keep it in your heart. If you don't believe in it, put it back on the other side. Let it out on the other side of your ear. It's all perfect. I will not get offended. I am just sharing some wisdom that are called universal laws. Now, these things that are called universal laws are very beautiful. I'm going to share with you now one word that is very, very beautiful. It is called Tao. Now, this word in spelling could be called DAO, right? Tao. In the Chinese character, it could be written as such, right? If you have seen it, wonderful. Now, do know that the truth about this one word is amazing. This one word, you don't need to worry about this. It's not a religion. I'm not about to share the religion because I have no idea the Taoist religion. What I'm about to share though is the word Tao in itself. The Tao means universal principle and law. Principles. Universal principles and law. It is the way. The way of what? Of all life. Now, it is very simply said. You know, when you go to the North Pole, the universal law in the North Pole is cold. It is the way in the North Pole. It is cold. The Tao of the North Pole weather is cold. So if you're going to go to the North Pole, you're going to have to suit up, wear up, keep warm, right? Be in a vehicle or be in a housing so that you don't freeze to death. Why did we call it a universal principle and law? Because that cold weather will not distinguish, will not, how should I say it, separate you. It doesn't matter whether you are a machine or a human being, if you're a human being, whether you are a male or a female, you're rich or poor, smart or not smart. It doesn't mean you don't believe in it. It won't happen to you. It is a universal principle and law. It's cold. It will freeze you, right? That's the law of the weather at the North Pole. It is the way of all life at the North Pole, right? That is why people always say, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Because when you're in Rome, you better follow the rest of the way people live, the way people move, do things, because then you blend in, you can survive. If you don't, you fall out. So everything has a principle and law, has a way, right? So there's a way for medicine. It's different. Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine, they all have different ways of doing things. What else can I share? The law when you're in a family, right? The father, the mother, the children. there's a principle in law in its people who have their own. I want to say culture has different laws and ways, right? Now that is for short a Tao. A Actually, Tao can also be said as a reasoning, right? It is the way of all life. Now, with that said, I want to share another secret. With that, once you know that the Tao is a universal principle and law, I want to share with you one of the most common one, the most common, most basic one. It's called Yin and Yang. Yes, I'm sure many of you have heard of the Yin and Yang. Yin Yang. If you have never heard of the Yin and Yang, I'm sure you've seen something like a ball and then a shape like this with two fishes with two eyes. Yeah. And normally one side is covered with solid and one side is plain, and then the eyes are solid on the other side. Yes. This Yin Yang theory is very beautiful. It's very simple. I'm going to quickly run through it. It means if there's a opposite, the opposite is always on the other side. The truth is one creates two, two creates all things. And it's a yin and yang. Now, in this yin yang, this is the first, like a basic law. That means everything and everything in the yin yang world has yin and yang. In our world, Mother Earth, we're in the yin yang world. So when there's a male, there'll be a female. When there's a front, there'll be a back, right? When there's a right, there'll be a left. These are all the yin yang theory. They coexist, right? So if you want to build the next best product, get to know yin yang very well. What is one of the best products is a cell phone. Cell phone, somebody calling me. Wonderful. See, it is used for the business side is the people calling you, and then the fun side is it has apps, cameras. By putting what is important and what is fun together, it's very famous. People want it. Electric cars, you're getting something that is with gas fumes, and at the same time on the other side saving gas. Put it together, it becomes the next best thing. Hybrid cars, electric cars, right? These are the effect of yin yang product. So what do you do for your job? Find out what is the yin and the yang of your projects or products that you can build. Put it together, you got the next best thing. Like, since sliced bread, you will call it in your whatever you do. Yin yang is very important. Once you understand fully the yin and the yang in what you do, you can take control of how you want to do it, how you want to execute it. Now, there is an amazing teacher called Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, Lao Tzu. Many ways calling him. Lao, Lao Tzu. I think it's Lao Tzu with that I or U. He though, Lao Tzu, I think with a U, Lao Tzu. He talked about the Tao. And the way he talked about is the Tao created one. One created two. Two created three. And three created all things. Now, hold on, if you ask me, but Henderson, you just said there's a yin and a yang theory. So here we are. If there is a yin, then there'll be a yang. Goes back to 3, 2, and 1. Going back to the Tao. Now, again, what I'm about to share with you is a universal concept. All right? Now, in this teaching that Lao Tzu gave, Tao created one. One in the sense of emptiness, nothingness. It's like a cloud, blurred cloud. Dr. Peter Hudova described it from his vision of third eye when they asked it, what did they see? What did he see in the one? He says, I saw what he describes, Huntun. Huntun is a blurred condition where there's a smog, a fog, a cloud. But in the cloud, everybody knows what clouds are, right? It's made out of little teardrop water drops. And in that little tear water drops, there is matter, yet the matter is up in the air. And it's so beyond amazing how water can stay up in the air only until when it's ready to rain, then it falls back down, right? So when it's ready, when time is ready, these little matters, what is light will separate from what is heavy, then it becomes two. And you go, oh wow, two. So with the two, it shows the yin and the yang. So we just call it yang and yin. And in his teaching, he calls this heaven and earth. Lao Tzu called it heaven and earth, yang and yin, right? And two creates three. Three creates all things. Together, the three is the 1 plus 2 equals 3, or the one on top, the Tao. The Tao created all things, plus heaven and earth creates all things. Now, so you say, where are we? We are at the all things, the human being. Everything else is in the all things because we all live in Mother Earth. So with that said, he had a theory stating that all things belongs under the control of Earth. And Earth is under the control of heaven. And heaven is under control of the one on top of it, which in this chart makes perfect sense in this chart. Now, as I said, this is a principle and law. It's a chart where if you learn from it, guess what? You can apply it to anything you believe in. Let's put it this way. If you believe in God, you put the word God up here. God created heavens, and in the heavens, it splits up to our heaven and our earth. You know, when in the far stars, I forgot what's it called. I saw this at the planetarium, and they said they will never show anything that they don't have proof of. And Tom Hanks was the narrator, right? At the oh my goodness, I forgot the nebula system, the actual nebula system that they were talking about. But in there, they zoom out to the star, and then there's little sparks, and then they said a star is born. And when a star is born, the star is surrounded by little rocks, which are the planets that the star holds, right? So think about it. Every time you see another star, you know that star holds a few rocks. Rocks can be planets, right? Because they're big from afar. They're a dot. You can't even see them with your bare eyes. So that is that space. That space created planets and a separate heaven that is part of that. And with that, we are born, right? So we all want to journey back to God. Now, if you are, if you're a Buddhist, you can put Buddha up here. If you're, however, who you are, the system is the same, right? It creates, and that thing that created heaven and earth and created all things, which where we are now. The word Tao is the universal principle and law that created all the space, the all things, the space, the yin and yang, and the all things. So imagine if we human beings live 100 years old, 150, we're doing great, right? If we can live up to 100 years old, we're great. If we can live up to 150 years old, we are amazing. Mother Earth has been there billions of years, billions of years. And that means heaven and earth, if they're together, that means they have lived billions of years. But what is up there is the vast emptiness, the vast nothingness. I'm sure you have heard of the theory that states the emptiness has everything, and the person who has everything really has only things, right? The emptiness can create everything. And our being of being created is trying to go home to where we're created, right? So this is a theory, a most amazing theory that the Tao is really the vast emptiness and nothingness, yet it is the most powerful at the same time. In the Tao Te Ching, if you've heard of the book from Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching, it states the Tao that can be described is not a true Tao anymore because it's beyond vast, beyond big. It has no shape, no form, no time, no space. Yet it is all loving. Tao is like water. I'm sure you've heard of that as well. Bruce Lee always always says, "Be like water," because it's be like the Tao, right? When you are with the Tao, you are flexible, you are soft, you are not strong, but at the same time, you are strong because water, upon not forceful, it's a loving water. People can go to the ocean and and swim and have fun, but at the same time, if there's a tsunami, the water is catastrophic, right? And we all need water to live. So there you have it. It's like the most amazing thing to describe the Tao as water.
Beautiful. I happen to have this book many years now. It's
Mm.
Green Dye, and I'm going to read
Yes,
it.
Wayne Dyer talks
Yeah,
about the Tao.
he lives, and this is what he talks about. And this is the first verse, and it's, let me just give you a brief introduction to everything what Henderson is saying here, since I have it. The great wisdom of the Tao Te Ching is a collection of 81 verses, which is authored by Lao Tzu, a Chinese prophet who was also the keeper of the imperial archives in the ancient capital of, and I'm going to say this wrong, so you have to correct me. Luoyang. Anyway, and we're talking about the Tao Te Ching, which we are talking about today, was born out of 5,000 Chinese characters, some of 25 centuries ago. So this is not something. It says, seeing the continual decay during the period of the warring states, Lao Tzu decided to ride westward into the desert. and I'm going to say all these Mandarin Chinese words wrong. The Hankupas, a gatekeeper named Yin HSI, Henderson, the English version. How do you pronounce it? HSI? Because I'm reading that.
I don't know. Go ahead. Continue.
Knowing of Lao Tzu's reputation for being a man of wisdom, begged him to record the essence of his teaching. And this is where for 25,000. The words of Tao Te Ching translate to living and applying the great way. And the Tao is considered by many scholars to be the wisest book ever written. Now, this particular book, although it's 81 verses, it encourages you to change your life by literally changing the way you think. By reading through the verses presented here, but of course, there's different versions. Everybody have their interpretation. And what he does, he has his corresponding. This is the actual verse. I'll read the first one. And this is what his interpretation is. So the actual first verse, verbatim, out of the 81 is, the thou that cannot be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that cannot be named is not the eternal name. The Tao is both named and nameless. As nameless as is the origin of all things. As named, it is the mother of 10,000 things. Ever desireless, one can see the mystery. Ever desiring, one can see only the manifestations. And the mystery itself is the doorway to all understanding. So when Henderson is saying, God, we know there's a divine being, but if you can name and see, because no one knows what God looks like. And this is what he's saying. So the true Tao, this is not about religion. I want people to understand that. And thank you for sharing this. And correct me if I'm wrong. If you can name and say that person, I'm just going to say this, for example, I would not say Henderson is Tao because Henderson could be named and Henderson could be seen. We do know the divine being is nameless and it cannot be seen. So whoever that divine life, being, inspiration, guide that you see there, that is the true Tao. And there's only one Tao. You just named them. Man has given him a name just to identify because we label everything.
Yeah.
So I had to go find, and the book was right here. I was looking for it because I had this I didn't even know what this was. I had just got a whole bunch of Dwayne Dyer books when I was going through my NLP hypnotherapy stage. And I just used to grab everything. And this was one of them. Now that I know Master Shah is doing the teachings, I understand it because the main principle is the first line, the Tao that cannot be named. So I just wanted to share that with everyone to know who Lao Tzu was. And this is not teachings from yesterday. This is teaching from 25 centuries ago, but people are now, right now, beginning to understand. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, a spiritual journey and so forth is something we could not talk about in olden days. It's gotten a bit more comfortable now. So all this is coming to the forefront where we can actually address it and have a better understanding of who we are. That's why we are lost. I don't know if Nivedita wants to add anything before Henderson. And beautiful teachings, I must say. And I have to say, if anybody who's joining us, thank you for joining us. We're here with Henderson Ong. Brilliant. And his teachings and the way he says it and expresses it it's precious. And if you have a comment for him, please do, now check us on the replay. But definitely, we want to take out as much as I can before he has to go, as he has to teach a class after. But Nivedita, what is your
Yeah, I've just been sitting here just loving the way
see her face.
the way Henderson has been teaching about the Tao. It was just so beautiful and so heartfelt. There's so much love in there. And it's just speaking to everyone. Everyone who listens will just feel that in their heart because he has that great way of expressing himself and in a way that everybody can understand. and in a way that everyone really wants to know more and wants more of your teaching, because it's just beautiful. I haven't heard you teaching this way before, and it's just beautiful, beautiful. Thank
Well,
you.
everybody has, we reach a stage in our lives, all of us, where it takes it to another level and takes it to another level. So let's just stay for a moment, Henderson. Go back to your chart. Bring back your chart, unless you didn't erase it yet, with your circle. The 1, 2, 3. In a nutshell, what we're saying, where we start off, we go through a cycle, and we end up coming back to where the beginning, because there is no beginning and there's no end.
Yes.
Right?
And every ending, there's a new beginning.
Right? So, and this is where, if you understand how the soul lives, when we talk about original, so I don't know if this is going off your teaching, but the original, for people to understand what soul, because I remember saying to someone once, talking about soul, because that's not the language. I'm Presbyterian, so we don't say soul, we say spirit. So I remember somebody had said, I'd said to him, talking about soul when I started this whole journey. He said, well, I don't know what a soul is. And he said he's a born again and so forth. I just know it's a spirit. And people get caught up because even my sister, they don't understand what I do, because in the teachings, it's black and white, because most of the Bible is 3 books to begin with. And all these versions it's whoever, King James version or whoever version, that's the version.
Exactly.
So in saying this, what did we say? I say breath of life. I said spirit. I said thou. I say source. I said way. Whatever it is, it resonates. So what I'm saying to people is, I want them to understand it's not always black and white. Be open-minded to the teachings and learnings, because once you get into teachings like this, you have a better understanding who you are, because we have a soul here in this body for like 100 years, possibly average. But that soul is only here, and maybe you could touch a little bit about that. And if it resonates with what you're saying, it's here to learn something, very specific lesson in particular, before it moves on. But we have the original soul that you talked about that moves on
and on and on.
And it just, it's like if it's subdivided, it moves on, and then it sends one apart. I'm just going to break it down. Sends it out, learn something, take it back, and then it moves on. And the ultimate stop is not to reincarnate anymore, where we become one, enlightenment. So
and we all have the Tao within us. We're all part of the Tao.
Well, of course, there's a very famous saying, and most people, there was a time you couldn't tell this to anyone. The I am, that I am God's light. I know Nivedita did a reading for me once, and you had said to me, and she added this on, I am that I am. And we added, I'm God's light. And most people had no clue what that meant. And it's something you couldn't tell people. I said, no, you're disrespecting God. And I said, you're your own God, and God is inside of you. And they didn't understand what I was saying. They thought I was...
But that was the word namaste. The God in me honors the God in you.
Exactly. Right. And it's also and again, namaste was not something that most people talked about unless you came. So in other words, when we talk about all of this, we talk about this more from a different teaching, because every man-made religion is a spirit, and they are man-made religions. Because I remember when my brother-in-laws, they're Muslim, and they went to Sufism.
Sufi.
Spiritual side of it, right? And now me on this side, I don't have any label for my side. But the point is, I urge everyone to at least take a moment and sit back and say, okay, what it is I'm doing. Because they always say there's 2 birth dates: the day you were born and the day you discover or realize what your destiny is. And this is what it is. That's the 2 most important birth dates. And I am telling you, without this, I would have been lost. And you are driven to what you need to, where you need to go. So I just wanted to I know I'm talking a lot, but back to you because I know you have to leave soon. Or whenever you want to leave, you can take as long as you want. But I wanted people to understand a little bit better understanding if it helps. I don't know if it helped or not in regards to this, because the word Tao, I don't want it to confuse people and think it's a cult or religion or something. And I use the word cult because that's the word we hear. That is not the religion part of it. We're talking about
Yeah.
divine source. And
Yes, that's why I was saying these are all universal principles and laws. You can convert this to something else, and you can apply this law or this principle to demystify even a company. Where are you lacking? What can be added? And how can it come back to you? Right? So, and this beautiful universal law, upon learned and use the wisdom, you can transform or learn about yourself, learn about what's happening, and figure out the holes in the puzzle. Now,
oh wait, okay. So never heard it like that is really let's expand on that part and talk about the business, because this is where people get confused about business. They don't understand. Business is a very tricky industry, a tricky career, lifestyle. It's not easy whatsoever. So for example, if you can we can break it down for anyone, including myself. And we're not going to talk about, the soul, heart, mind, and body, the Shen Shijin, or maybe you would give us an example about how we can break this down, because it didn't occur to me, or maybe I heard it before and I didn't click, in terms of how you would actually relate this in a business.
think about it.
I'm
You
going
have
to
your
give
company.
full layout again.
You have your company name. A company name is called tea, let's say. Tea. You're selling tea, yes? All things are your customers. Let's put your customers down here. All things. This is just a very basic way of sharing it. Customers. Now, in order to get your company tea, to get to the customers, there are many different ways. But first, you have to have an idea. This is your idea right here. Thank you, Lao Tzu, for being with us, teaching us. Okay, the principle. So this is the idea. Now, this idea, how does it manifest? It has to become two parts. In this business, after you have the idea, you need first the financial and the physical, right? And in that, it creates this. The idea, with the use of these two, you can start planning. What are you doing? Small stores, big stores? Are you just doing packagings? Are you doing, everything else is here. And then it reached the customer. Once the customer has your tea, do they like the packaging? It comes back to here going, okay, do we need more physical or finances to move things up? Back to the idea of the customer understanding who you are, what type of tea you are. The idea is back up here. Does the customer really love your idea? If they do, it goes back to you, because the customer will start referring you, right? So that would be a life cycle of a company or a product, the tea, right? The tea is the idea. You have an idea what type of tea. Why are you doing tea? Oolong tea, whatever tea, or whatever that idea is. Then you break it up to the company. You have financial and physical. Now, once you hit here, sometimes if this is small, of course, the coming back is small. But if once the customer really loves your tea, then there'll be a supply and demand. That means there's enough going back. Then when you come back down, you could normally, a small company starts off with one tea, oolong tea, let's say. And then later, once they expand bigger, they'll have 10 teas in their menu, right? There'll be more ideas, because then it will be, it will have to be supported by the physical and the financial. and then either the branding will have changed designs and all that, then back to the customer. Then the customer will say, do I like the branding? Do I like the way the tea is served? Is it the cheap, when they drink it, does it feel like the space that they went to drink and the actual product, is it worth it? Right? If it's worth it, they go back to the idea. Does the customer like the idea? Then they refer customers back, they refer friends back to the company. So that is a very basic understanding, very simple. But again, we could talk about this for days and days, and you can demystify your company in individual segment. That's why this is a universal law. Lao Tzu has shared to us, and you just have to map in the right things in there, and you can sort of juggle it around.
I can see this as a big workshop that you're going to be teaching us, Henderson, in the future.
Absolutely. And it's like everything in every business, there's always a beta state, where it's trial and error. It's or some, in media they call it a pilot, where you really have to. Business is not black and white. There's no question about that. Regardless if it's a service or how do you even with the website I just built, how do people react it? Is it user friendly? How does it serve them? You'll be tweaking and constantly tweaking and tweaking. But I like this idea, and I'm going to use this concept in terms of, well, yes, I was thinking about, of course, the supply and demand. But again, you don't have a product unless you have customers who likes your product. Your product could be the best in the world, the best packaging, but if you got crap inside that package, it ain't gonna work.
Yep, that's why once they get here, they have to feel the product is good. They have to know that the product is worth their money.
And here's
So
the
it's
thing.
about yin and yang.
Yeah, but the other side to that too is people are so savvy, tech savvy right now, and they Google everything, or their palettes are changed. It's a different generation. You couldn't get away with things in the past. So
LOL. The new term, LOL. I love it.
yeah, now they have to really they before they would invest with you. They in the old days somebody would come and you would just invest without even thinking twice. Now people have the ability they can shop around, shop around, shop around. So
So I would like to also do a practice,
yes.
because
Thank you.
that's the best part of all is the practice.
Let me give you full screen again. We want
Oh
to
no,
see
you can
all
do
of you. Oh, you want to see? Okay. All
it.
right.
Doesn't matter. It's up to you. I'm just gonna share. Let us do a practice of how to experience, to find ourselves within us, right? The Tao is within us, just like um, Diane and Nivedita shared. It is within us, we are within it. So let's put one hand in front of our hearts, one hand in our lower abdomen. All these have meaning. That's the body power. Where the hand goes is where the energy builds up or begins. Mind power, visualize. These are all Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha's teaching, and he will have a class on the Tao starting next week, and you can find out more. I talk like Yoda now. In drsha.com. So breathing into your lower abdomen, we're gonna visualize light shining from our lower abdomen. When you breathe in all the light from the universe. Now, say hello. Say hello to who is soul power, or you can say spiritual power. Say hello to whoever you believe in. You can call all layers of divine, Tao, source, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, Lamas, Kahunas, Holy Saints, Taoist Saints, Ascended Masters, any kinds of saints you want. Now, if you don't believe in it, you call upon Mother Earth, countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. They all have longer lifespan than we do. They all have longer, stronger essence than we do. Breathing in the light into your lower abdomen, the essence, and exhaling out shining light. Now make a request. What would you like transform in your life? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual? aspect of your life. If you have a difficulty in life you want to transform, make a request now. Breathing in and gently relax. And just breathe in with me. The light, breathing in the light into your lower abdomen. Exhaling, shining that light from your lower abdomen. And at the same time, releasing negative information on what you requested. Breathing in the light from the universal frequency and vibration into your lower abdomen. Exhale the negative information. Focusing on the breathing, calming your heart, calming your whole body. And let me share a secret sound song for you. It goes like this. Aya, 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 yo. Aya, aya, yo. Aya, 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 yo. Aya, 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 yo. Breathing in, gently relax, and one more time, breathing in, and this time as you exhale, gently open your eyes, relax your hands, feel your body, move it a little bit, move around. How does it feel? You can share later. Wonderful.
Well, I want to
I
thank you so
actually,
much.
oh, sorry, Dan.
Go ahead, Nivedita.
I actually felt this beautiful breeze flowing right through my body, from my crown right through, from head to toe, skin to bone. And it was like the winds of change, you know. It was like so beautiful. I'm so grateful for that short but powerful meditation and singing. It was just incredible. Thank you.
Thank you. I am just so calm, Henderson. And for those who are joining us, go back. And Henderson, they can do this multiple times, right? It's not a one.
Yes, yes.
So I urge you, he's given us permission to go back multiple times and listen to this. What you don't understand is, so I shouldn't say don't understand, this is right. What you should know is Henderson is a grand master, means he has reached to the top where he needs to go. And I'm just going to leave that as that particular part. And what he just gave us, I'm doing it, Nivedita doing it. Yes, it's like here, but Henderson doing it is like here. So go back, listen to this, share this. That's a huge healing that you just got, a huge blessing. And I want to say thank you. Henderson, I know you got to go to teacher class. And thank you so much for those who are joining us. I cannot urge you enough. This is one time I'm going to suggest and convince you to go back and listen to this teaching. It is powerful. I learned a few things which I am going to actually absorb and use. I'm not going to say the S word. And use that concept because I never thought about it in terms of that in regards to business.
Even the Shen
I mean,
teaching, these are all.
I know it, but in that particular chart, the concept, talk about it. Yes, we talk about it this way, which will be a better understanding because we know it in marketing, we know it in all these things, but just to put it in this little chart is the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you so much. I know you got to.
Henderson, we want you back. We want you back.
Yes, one thing I gotta say, and listen, I love you for this. You always make the time whenever I reach out to you, even in your texts and messages, and you're never ever too busy. So how can people reach you?
So here's what I know. Master Sha is about to teach the Tao again. This is the biggest secret of all. So go to drsha.com. There you will find me too. But here's what I know. My teacher is still alive today. Go directly to the source, right? Dr. Shah is about to teach the Tao, the way of all life, every Sunday, and it's going to make it a course. So I urge, invite everyone to come and learn about the Tao.
And the other thing is, as well, every Monday he has been teaching about the
Yes, the Tao Te Ching in the Facebook, and it's free.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's what is it, Dr. Master Shah? No,
Yes, Dr. and Master Shah.
I just have to type
All
it.
right. With that said, I think I should
Yes,
sign out and prepare for my next
yes,
thing.
I appreciate that, and I will just put that on there. I appreciate
Thank you,
your time.
Diane,
Thank
for
you so
sharing,
much for being with us.
allowing me to share.
And we invite you back to come and do these little mini teachings as much as you can. And Henderson is out in the Francisco Center. He's out in the States there. So definitely. And I just have to say one quick thing before you go. Henderson had lost his hair, 99.9% of it. And through healing, I'm not kidding you, the healing's blessings and a lot of very regimented, very disciplined like me, you would not know this is the same Henderson. Like literally, this was his elephant in the room. And look at him now. So these things work. And I want to say thank you so much. Have an amazing teaching. Have an amazing session. And thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you,
So,
Nivedita. Love
Dagan,
you, everyone.
bye. Thank you so much. We've been very blessed today. And thank you. Take care. Bye bye. Folks, I cannot urge you enough and say, this is what we've been very fortunate to actually be in the presence of Henderson to talk about all of this. And what's your feedback about the session? I know we have anything can happen here, right? And I had to take advantage of having him here. There's no question about it.
And what you see is what you get. He's such a pure soul, and he's so loving and giving. And to have him on the show is such a gift and such an honor, because he just practices. He is what he teaches. He teaches what he lives. It's just an amazing. He's an amazing person, and he's just so loving, and it's just beautiful to have him here.
We did a Divine Soul Journey show with him back last year when we just started doing the show. Probably not the best sound, but what I will do is I probably put it in the link, and I urge you all to go and listen to his story from back then. He's come a long way. That was a time when he pretty much was bald, and he actually gave me the capability. And I didn't know he was doing that. He gave me the actual capability of the hair. So, and I can actually give that blessing to other people as well. But of course, you have to do your 50 to 75% or whatever it is. Don't think it's just going to happen and it's going to go back. You have to be very disciplined, and there's a lot of healing. And he has come a long way since now he's a grandmaster. And for him to give that blessing is huge. It's huge. So I encourage people to go back and listen to this time and time and time again and share it. And listen to what he's saying and understand. And I've heard sometimes you go back and you listen to things multiple times. And when you go back the 100th time is when things click. Like I've seen, how many times have you seen that circle, the universal law? But I heard it in different ways. Now I wasn't even thinking about it and putting it into the soul marketing business and working with everyone in the teachings, what we're going to be talking about. But say we have been fortunate, and go. If you're feeling down, go back and listen to that blessing and just take it in. We're just pretty much absorbing all the energy and bringing it clean energy. You think about that, a plant, the photosynthesis, except the plant takes in the bad energy and gives all and good oxygen. Well, we're taking in the good and we're cleaning ourselves out and sending out the bad to go back. And so think about it, that photosynthesis in reverse. So I want to say to everyone, Nivedita, we'd like to say before we go, you're muted. You're muted.
Thank you. It's been such an amazing show today, and I've just been totally basking in this frequency and vibration and love, because that's what it's all about. Love melts all blockages. And this is not just a cliche, it really is true. And we've had a great time today. And I do hope that you will listen and re-listen, because in re-listening and re-watching and re-practicing the little meditation we had with Henderson, you'll be on the journey to healing yourself, and it'll be amazing. And you can all do it. There's nothing you can't do.
Absolutely. So thank you all. And I want to again thank Henderson Ong for being with us. I want to thank you all for being with us. I know you all were so taken up with what he was saying that, we didn't even want to interrupt. And I'm so happy. And of course, you can pick up any book. This is Wayne Dyer's book, and it actually gives you here the 81 chapter.
And what is the title of that book?
This particular one is called, if you can see it, Living the
Wisdom of the Tao. Right. Wonderful.
And everything that Wayne Dyer did or spoke about was about through the teachings of Lao Tzu. Yes. Everything, as far as I understand and I know. And I've got tons of books. I've read all of them. So one of the things we do understand is to have, if we are the I am that I am, and we are own God's light inside of us, we have the ability to paint our own canvas and so forth. And it's basically saying, hey, God, divine source, heavenly being, here I am. Look, this is what I am. That's what it's saying. I am that I am. So here I am. So imagine you are the Tao, the God. You're looking up to God, but the ultimate Tao doesn't have a face, doesn't have a name. That we reach up because we want to become enlightenment at some point in time in our lives. We want to do things where we can live in our truth. The
first thing to do is and it's the hardest in a way to do, is to learn to let go of everything. Let go of all the fears, let go of all the doubts, let go of everything, because it doesn't serve you. It just holds you as a prisoner in the thrall of all the negative energy that's around and that can stick to you. So just let go as much as possible.
The funny thing is, we do a ritual called the 7 Scorpions by Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And we all know everything symbolizes where we have, the guilt, the fear, the shame, the lies, the illusion, and the crown is the attachment. So literally, when you think about it, when we sit down to connect, and you probably all do it wrong, think of it like a rope, a thread that connecting. It's connected to your crown. That's where the hook is. This is the attachment. And of course, your root chakra, which is your first soul house, or whatever you want to call it, is around your groin area, by your inner area, that part there. Not being graphic, I'm just telling you where it is. By Kundalini in some places, people say, but think of it as a spiritual wheel energy. This is the attachment. Where's the attachment? By your brain, your monkey mind. Detach. I cannot stress on if it is 100% correct. Detachment is key. And I literally had to learn that. Detach from everything and everyone. Have no attachment to money. Have no attachment to the phone. Have no attachment to food. Have no attachment to anything that holds you back. Relationship.
And at the same time, the crown is also the doorway to sorry about that. The crown is also the doorway, a doorway to the soul world as well. So it's very beautiful. It's like if you imagine a golden sun as being the highest form of light, and feel it coming into your crown and into your body and down to the earth. It's coming through you, using yourself as a conduit for the light, and the same as Mother Earth's light coming up through the soles of your feet and connecting. It's that yin and yang. It's the physical and the spiritual, and it's using your body. Your body is a conduit for that light. So we are greater people than we think we are, and we often forget that we're here for a purpose, and that is to be the conduit of the light, to help Earth and all of the beings on the earth.
Absolutely. I know we do a lot of different sessions. We talk about the elephant in the room, which was Henderson's elephant with his head. And the little story about that is, when he was in a training and he's asked to, pick an area he wants to work on, and his little head is saying, the elephant in the room, the elephant. And he said, no. And he's talking to like his conscious, and like when they're talking about when you have your little devil on your shoulder there, and saying, I'm just going to brief story. And he said, no, but I've dealt with that. I've moved on. Now he's kind of really almost bald now. And they said, no, the elephant. And he said, no. And he gave in. And he did that. And he got the blessing for that. And that's, again, he had to do some cleansing and very disciplined and so forth, a lot of healing. And look at his hair today. I actually have pictures somewhere of his hair like that. But the elephant in the room, one of the sessions I do, we deal with all of this. We talk about this. We're doing a session coming up, 5 days of the no fluff, no nonsense, no excuses. All these things are coming. We work to help you get you to where you need to be. So if any of this resonates, and there's more, if any of this resonates with you, reach out to us. Definitely reach out to myself, Nivedita. It's time for you to take that step forward, because nobody's going to do it for you.
And I'd really like to share that we all have gifts and talents. And some people, such as Dianne, have many gifts and talents that she can share that are very unique and very powerful, and that the divine is using for her to share with you. So just take that offering as it comes, as a gift that's coming to you, and take the chance and invest in your own future and in your own happiness and your connection to your true self, which is what the spiritual journey is about.
Thank you for that. She does not miss any session whatsoever. But on that note, I want to say thank you for that. On that note, I would say, me, I just like people to be, if I could do it, they could do it. And I'm very results oriented. So, everybody, I've gotten some amazing testimonials, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of them who join us all the time. This is what it's all about. This is why we do what we do. This is why we have Henderson on. This is why we have Marilyn on. This is why we have everyone on. So on that note, do join us. If you like what we do, let us know. Then we'll keep doing it. If you don't like, remember, we have a show. Do you like it? Are you going to check it out? No, you don't like it. Okay, we need to know what you're looking at, what tweaks, what intrigues you. That's what we want to bring. We're going to have people talking about autism and so forth, living with autism, and so all those things are going to be coming up. We want to hear what it is you have to share. And if you have something to share that you would like to share with us on here, let us know, and you might be our guest. See what? And we'll also get to use the wheel at some point in time. Remember my wheel? So on that note, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Catch us on the replay. Share this. Go back and listen to the blessing. And I'm sure we'll have Henderson back. And to each and every one, you have an amazing, great day. We love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Love you, everyone. Bye-bye. Love you, love you, love you. Namaste.